Welcome friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we will discuss about the कंस्ट्रक्शन मैनेजमेंट। हम सब लोग जानते हैं कंस्ट्रक्शन मैनेजमेंट इन द टर्म्स ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट है। कंस्ट्रक्शन मैनेजमेंट में हम कंस्ट्रक्शन में होने वाली एक्टिविटियों को एक साथ ऐसे अरेंज करते हैं कि हमारा जो प्रोजेक्ट है वो टाइमली कंप्लीट हो सके। अगर हम कुछ मैनेज नहीं करते हैं और इरेगुलरली एक्टिविटी को करते जाते हैं तो हम उस प्रोजेक्ट का टाइम ड्यूरेशन डिफाइन नहीं कर सकते हैं। और हम सब जानते हैं कि टाइम कंस्ट्रक्शन में कितना इम्पोर्टेंट रोल प्ले करता है और कॉस्ट भी ऊपर नीचे होती है। सो टुडे वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द सम ऑफ द टॉपिक्स अबाउट द construction management. Now today we will discuss about the construction project management method. It's called a CPM. Now first we will discuss about the background and history of construction project management. After that we will define the CPM, how it's work and what is the approaches of CPM. And next we will study about the different terminology and definitions involved in construction project management. Now in last we will perform the class exercise. How can we prepare the networks, how can we solve the networks, and what are important factor that should we have to consider for preparation of construction project management networks. Now what is the background and the history of CPM? Now first, CPM is developed by the 1950s by US Navy, and we all of you know that somehow type of arrows and circles diagram are has been drawn for creating the CPM network. So it generally represents that the logical dependencies between the different activities and different elements and different tasks that should we have to carried out during the completion of project. Since it has been expanded to allow for the inclusion of resources related to each activity through the process called activity based resource assignment and resource leveling. Now critical path method for the construction industry having a two approaches. First one is the non-computer approach and second one is the John Fondal approach. But now today we will discuss about the what is the CPM. What full form of the CPM is critical path method or critical path analysis. Is methodologically based on algorithm for scheduling a set of project activities. Now CPM is an important tool for effective project management. Now CPM is commonly used with all forms of project including like construction, software development, research projects, product development, engineering, plant management and many other extra research projects. Any project with interdependent activities can apply this method of scheduling. Now we will discuss about what is the CPM. Now the essential techniques for using the CPM is to construct a model of the project that includes the following. First, before applying the CPM, we have to construct the model of project that should include the following parameters. Now first we have to prepare the list of all activities to complete the project, and we also another name that types of list is called work breakdown structure. The time that each activity will take to completion. We have to also know about the how much time that should require to complete that task. Third thing is that the dependencies between the activities that should be carried out in a sequential manner when we preparing the construction path. Now, what CPM calculates? What parameter we should have to calculate for preparation of CPM networks or critical path? First, we should have to find out the longest path of planned activity to the end of project. Second thing, we have to find out the earliest and latest times of each activity. And after that, we have to find out the latest finish time and earliest finish time of each activity. Now, after that, we have to determine that critical activities. So, we are understanding in that our next examples. Third thing, we have to prioritize activities for effective management and short-term plan of critical path. After that, we have to pruning the critical path activities. Pruning means to select the critical paths and that activities should be carried out during the critical path. After that, fast tracking. We have to arrange a network in such a manner that more parallel activities should be carried out during our construction phase. Third thing, crashing the critical path means we have to shorten the critical activities by adding the extra resources or any other different techniques. Now, there have been for the CPM approach, there have been three phases. In that first phase, we have to break the project into operations necessary for completion to determine the sequential relationship of operations. Every operations must have event to mark commencement, or second thing, we have to understand that can operations overlap over each other. Third thing, phase 2. Now we have to create the time estimate for each operation or activity or task. And second thing is we have to determine the earliest possible start date and earliest possible finish date. Or second thing, latest start and latest finish date. After that, we have to determine the free float and total float. That should be revised after the completion of phase 3. हम सब जानते हैं कि कंस्ट्रक्शन में कोई भी चीज प्री डिफाइन नहीं हो सकती, वो टाइम के हिसाब से डिपेंडेंट रहता है और बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स उस पर इफेक्ट करते हैं. सो we have to update our network. When we are updating our networks, when the free float and total floats are totally used during the time duration that should be occur and completing the activity. Next, phase 3. In the phase 3, we have to establish the time cost relationship. हम सब लोग जानते हैं कि जैसे ही टाइम बढ़ता है उसके हिसाब से कॉस्ट भी बढ़ती जाती है. अगर हम टाइमली प्रोजेक्ट को कंप्लीट नहीं करते हैं तो हमारा जो प्रोजेक्ट कॉस्ट है वो 10 टाइम्स 5 टाइम्स 6 टाइम बेस्ड ऑन द डिलेइंग जो बढ़ता जाता है. उसके बाद में हमें शेड्यूलिंग में वेरिएशन भी करना पड़ सकता है ड्यू टू क्रेशिंग ऑफ द एक्टिविटीज, ड्यू टू डिलेइंग इन द एक्टिविटीज और दूसरी वजहों के कारण भी हमें एक्टिविटीज में डिले करना पड़ सकता है. सो फर्स्ट वी हैव टू डिटरमाइन दैट 2 times and cost. Like first, if activity is normally started on time, it is called normal start, and that time that should be taken to completion of the work is called normal time. And the normal start activities, the cost will be least. After that, crashing time or the delay time start activities, we have least time for completion and we have to pay greater cost or higher cost for the completion of that project. Now that is the one pictorial representation of different types of activities that should be involved during the process of CPM network. First, we have to list the activities and relationship. Second, then create a start node. After that, draw a arrow from start node to the first activities node. Third thing, double sequentially arrange all activities from start. After that, we have to repeat process from successor for all activities. After that, double check for missed relationship. Now, we have to understand some terminology before we have to draw network. First definition is float or slack. Amount of time that a task can be delayed without causing a delay to subsequent task और प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीशन डेट. और हमारे वर्ड में कहे तो जो डिले है एक्टिविटीज में वो डिले अलाउेबल डिले बोलते हैं उसे. जो अलाउेबल डिले है उसको हम फ्लोट अंडरस्टैंड कर सकते हैं. फ्लोट हमारे लिए एक ऐसा टाइम है कि उसके बीच में हम कोई भी एक्टिविटी को डिले या अर्ली कर सकते हैं. अगर फ्लोट के बाहर जाकर हम कोई एक्टिविटी को डिले करें तो वो पूरे प्रोजेक्ट के जो क्रिटिकल पाथ है उसके ऊपर अफेक्ट करता है और प्रोजेक्ट ड्यूरेशन में चेंजेस करना पड़ता है. उसके बाद में नेटवर्क को भी अपडेट करना पड़ सकता है. नाउ क्रिटिकल पाथ is a sequence of activities which added up to the longest overall duration. हम सब जानते हैं कि सारे क्रिटिकल एक्टिविटीज को मिलाकर जो हम लॉन्गेस्ट पाथ क्रिएट करते हैं उसे बोलते हैं क्रिटिकल पाथ. और वो जो टाइम ड्यूरेशन होता है उसे बोलते हैं टोटल प्रोजेक्ट ड्यूरेशन. In which some of the critical activities, some activities the subcritical, non-critical and severe critical activities, we should have to classify between the longest path from starting point to ending point of network. Now, how can we classify the critical activity? That is the very simple way to classify the critical activities. A slack or float is 0 is called critical activity. Now, resource leveling. That is the very important process for timely completion of project during the project work. Now, it is the iterative process of assigning crews to activities in order to calculate their duration. अगर हम सिंपल वर्ड में समझे तो अगर कोई क्रिटिकल एक्टिविटी है वो टाइम पर कंप्लीट नहीं हो रही है तो हम क्या करेंगे कि कोई ज़्यादा रिसोर्सेज है वो उसके ऊपर अप्लाई करेंगे. लाइक मैन पावर है, मटेरियल है, इक्विपमेंट है, वो रिसोर्सेज हम उनके ऊपर अप्लाई करेंगे ताकि वो टाइमली कंप्लीट हो और हमें नेटवर्क अपडेट करने की और प्रोजेक्ट ड्यूरेशन बढ़ाने की ज़रूरत पड़े नहीं. नाउ इन द एक्टिविटी आइडेंटिटी बॉक्स ऑफ नेटवर्क वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट 4 टाइम. Just that shows the different types of time, like earliest start time, earliest finish time, latest start time and latest finish time. But in that our Indian pictorial representation we have only represent TE and TL, and from that we have calculate ES, EF, LS and LF. EST, EFT, LFT and LST. That is the different types of time. Now we are moving to your class exercise. Now in that table that should given the some of the activities A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and it shows that some of the dependencies between the different types of activities. It should also have some time duration for completion of this activity particularly. Now what we have to do? First we have to prepare a network. Now activity A dependency is nothing. Activity B dependency is nothing. So our starting point is some start node. that should also represent by the circle, or we have to represent start point for our convenience purpose. Now activity C and D dependency is depend on A, C depends on A and D depends on B. उसका मतलब है कि सी है वो ए के कंप्लीट होने के बाद में ही स्टार्ट होगी, और डी है वो बी के कंप्लीट होने के बाद में स्टार्ट होगी। उसके बाद आती है एक्टिविटी ई, उसकी डिपेंडेंसी क्या है, तो डी और एफ। ई एक्टिविटी कब स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं, जब डी और एफ दोनों कंप्लीट हो जाए बाद में। सो एफ की डिपेंडेंसी है बी, सो एफ में एफ है वो बी की डिपेंडेंट एक्टिविटी है। सो डी और एफ के कंप्लीट होने के बाद में हम ई एक्टिविटी स्टार्ट करेंगे। उसके बाद में जी एक्टिविटी आती है। जी एक्टिविटी की डिपेंडेंट एक्टिविटी है सी, सो सी कंप्लीट होने के बाद में हमने जी है वो स्टार्ट किया। आफ्टर दैट एच एक्टिविटी है। एच एक्टिविटी की डिपेंडेंसी है ई और जी पर, तो उसका मतलब है कि एच इज द लास्ट एक्टिविटी, सो दैट नेटवर्क इज प्रिपेयर्ड एंड डिटरमिन dependency is totally established between the all activities which should be given in our table. Now we have to calculate the different times. First, our main time duration for start to A activity is 7. 7 is written in the below the A. So first we are seeing that activity ID EST, EFT, LST and LFT. So earliest start time is 0, क्योंकि उसके आगे कोई एक्टिविटी है ही नहीं। अर्लीस्ट फिनिश टाइम क्या हुआ, ओके 7, लाइक उसको क्या बोलते हैं, टीई ऑफ टेल एक्टिविटी। उसके बाद में सी का क्या है 6, सी का टाइम ड्यूरेशन क्या है 6, तो उसका अर्लीस्ट स्टार्ट टाइम क्या हुआ 7, क्योंकि जो ए कंप्लीट होती है उसके बाद में हम सी स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। उसके बाद में अर्लीस्ट फिनिश टाइम हम फाइंड करते हैं ई एफ, वो क्या होता है 13। वो हम कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे, क्योंकि हमारा अर्लीस्ट फिनिश टाइम प्लस टाइम ड्यूरेशन वो हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं तो वो मिलता है हमें 13। वो ऊपर वाले जो हम दो कॉलम देख रहे हैं वो टीई और टीएल ही है, ठीक है। नीचे में टीएल आएगा, ऊपर में टीई आएगा। In other words, if you want to calculate the TE and TL, so we are considering that there have been 4 corners in which the first we have to put the value of time duration of previous activity like 7. See the activity number C. First put the earliest square corner of upper right hand side. So we have to put 7. In the 7 we have to add the time duration of present activity like a 6. So that is the value is 30. Next thing, the activity G. So first, earliest start time for activity G is equal to 30 because first C is completed and after G is started. So earliest finish time of C is the earliest start time of G, right? After that, we have to add the time duration between this G, so that should give earliest finish time of G is called earliest finish time of G, that should be 16. Now activity H. For activity H, we have to consider the two activity like G and E. So first we have to start from B. Now first, for earliest start time of B is equal to 0 and earliest finish time of B is equal to the time duration that should be required to completion of B is 3. Now after that we have to calculate ES and earliest start time and earliest finish time of activity D. Earliest start time is 3 and 3 plus 3 is equal to 6 only we have to see that the upper right corner of the activity. Upper corners of the activities like left and right. Left is ES and right is EF. For activity E, the time duration for starting of activity E is equal to earliest finish time of activity D. For that case, we have to also consider the earliest finish time of activity F, and we have to get the maximum time for earliest start time from the both activity D and F. So first we have to calculate the activity F. Earliest start time for activity F is 3 because B is the dependent activity of activity F. After that, we have to calculate the earliest finish time of activity. So we have to add the activity duration in the earliest start time. So the earliest finish time of activity is 5. Next, we have to calculate the value of earliest start time of E. So we have to get the maximum value of earliest finish time of the previous activities. Earliest finish time of the previous activity D is equal to 6 and F is equal to 5. So we have to take maximum is equal to 6. Now for earliest finish time of activity E, we have to add the value of time duration of activity E in earliest start time of activity E. 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. Next, activity H. Earliest start time for activity H is equal to 16. Why? Because activity G earliest finish time and activity E earliest finish time. So we can get the maximum from the both 16 and 9. So we have to get 16. After that, earliest finish time of activity H is equal to 16 plus 2 is equal to 18. Now next term is for activity latest start time and latest finish time. How can we calculate? I can only understand the one or two activities. Now we can see the latest start time and latest finish time. Now first we have to calculate the latest start time. So first we have to calculate for activity H. For activity H, latest finish time is 18 because after that there is no activity. And latest start time is seen in the previous box, latest start and latest finish. So the lower corner is the latest box is for the latest start and the latest finish time. So for activity number H, we have to subtract from the latest finish minus time duration of that activity. So latest finish and latest start. Latest finish time of activity is the latest finish of the activity is latest start time. So 18 is the latest finish time and 16 is the latest start time. So we have to subtract the time duration from the latest finish time. In that case, for activity E, we have to latest start time is 16 because latest start time 16 for H and latest finish time for activity E is 16 because that should be interdependency between the E and H. So next we have to calculate for that whole activity because we for the video duration is too long, so that should be irritable. So you have to do as per your. Now we are understanding the Gantt bar chart. What is the Gantt bar chart? In the Gantt bar chart, there is the pictorial representation of bars for completion of activity, and when the activities are completed, we have highlighted the different bars. There have been number of activities has been conducted during the completion of project, and that duration is different. Now that is the starting time is also different, but in that case we are seeing that for delaying of any activity or overlapping of any activity, we should have to revise all the charts before we are concluding from that. So that is the very difficult in case of Gantt bar chart for updation of network during the project management. Now what we are studied and what we have to learn from that critical path analysis. Now first we have to carry out the some of the tasks that should be have to done during the our project practices that should be involved. After that, where parallel activity can be carried out. Next thing we have to understand that the shortest time in which the project can be completed. So we have to arrange such a project in such a manner that it should be completed in the shortest time. How much resources needed to achieve a project. Next thing, the sequence of activities, scheduling and timing involved in the task priorities. Thank you. I hope you will enjoying this video. Thank you.